Just a quick heads up, this is a repeat of the video I posted Thursday, December 4th. I had copyright issues, so I had to redo the audio. I apologize to anyone who has already seen it, and for those of you who haven't, enjoy. Hey everyone, I'm Heather, and this is Hamlet. I just wanted to pop on and show my face. Sometimes I do that. I hope that's okay. I just wanted to say hello before I start my video and tell you I have almost all of the footage of everything I made this week. I think my camera and microphone problems are over. He's having an issue. It's what happens when I comb my hair. I've been a little sick, so he thinks that since I got dressed, I'm going someplace, bless his heart. I am feeling much better, but I feel like I'm maybe still a little contagious, so I haven't seen my mom in several days, and that's really a bummer. But I'm feeling better, and I think I'll go out and about tomorrow. We'll see how I wake up. The only thing I didn't catch all of the footage on was project number 1, when I put this IOD transfer on this little boot. I found this in my dumpster dive. That house hasn't been lived in since the 80s, and I don't think children lived there since maybe the 70s, or probably the early 70s, like 72. The little girl who lived there was born in 55, and if this was her boot, it was probably from when she was like in kindergarten or preschool. So it's pretty old, and I'm actually okay with how this transfer turned out. What happened when I put it on, I don't know why it didn't record, but I was so into putting this on here that I didn't notice. It went on amazing. It just like, it went right onto it. But when I started pulling off that plastic carrier sheet, the transfer came with it, but it wasn't stuck to the carrier sheet. It was like in midair. It was wild. I was like, what do I do? So I just very gingerly pushed it down and made sure it was stuck. It's okay, buddy. And he does not want me to leave. And I took it outside and I put huge amounts of sealer on it, and it was just a matte clear spray on sealer, and I just let it dry. And it's pretty good. It's not coming off, so I'm happy with it. When I pushed it down, it did get a little bit of cracks, but that's okay, because it fits the era of what this, I was gonna say goulash, galoshes. I would call this a slip-on rain boot. I don't know, what would y'all call it? Anyway, it matches that era. So I'm totally cool with how it turned out. Isn't that wonderful? All right, I'm gonna let you get on with the video. It's kind of short this week. This is my 3rd video in like 7 days, and I hope to do more. I haven't been doing much else besides sleeping and making stuff and videos. All right. I will see you all next time. I hope you have a fun time watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe and put those notifications on so you won't miss my content in the future. See y'all later. Hey y'all, from Spindle Mountain Mercantile. I am Heather. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Project number 1. If you have an Ollie's near you, that's Ollies, get yourself down there right after Christmas, because they put all of their Christmas supplies on clearance. That's where I got a bunch of great greenery last year. I'm starting by taking this greenery, it's twigs that have glitter on them, and they're gold, and they're perfect. Some of the glitter came off, actually quite a bit of the glitter came off over this last year sitting in that bin, and it's just perfect for this boot because that IOD transfer I put on it, yeah, it's kind of got some gold on it, but the matte sealer made it matte, so hey, it works. I put a whole bunch of grocery bags in this boot to make it poofy. And once I glued those twigs in, I put one of those bottle brush trees in it, and I left the base on it. Lots and lots of glue to keep it there. Then I added some reindeer moss from Dollar Tree around the base of the tree so you couldn't see the bags. And now I am using another dumpster diving find from an auction at the clockmaker's place. He had all of these really neat pine cones and seed pods and walnuts, acorns. I'm adding those all over the place, and a bonus little twig with a little bit of bark still left on it is going to curve over the top of this. And that twig was calling out for some little critter to be sitting on it. So I'm putting this squirrel on it that I found in the same dumpster dive where I got the boot. It's probably really rare and worth a fortune, but it's okay. I'm only putting it on with hot glue. I've been saving this scrap of vintage ribbon that I only had a little bit of. And how perfect is it on this boot? Tell me what you think in the comments. Project number 2. A while back, I shared with you a haul where I bought about 40 boxes full of all kinds of vintage items. I paid $4 a box. In one of them was this little boxer with a broken ear. She's getting the Christmas treatment today. I started by making a wreath out of some of that garland I found at Dollar Tree. And I'm just hot gluing a little bit of those little glitter balls that I found at Ollie's on that. And whatever else looked good. I found different sizes and I liked that. It looked kind of like berries. Next, I took this old ribbon that I took off of a vintage ornament and pulled it apart. Then I re-glued the loops together in smaller sections, and I think I made about 4 loops. And I just glued that bow right onto the center of the broken part of her ear. Then I took a tiny piece of the same garland and I glued it right to the middle of that bow. Now you could add anything you want to this. You could add little tiny poinsettias or other little flowers, but this worked really well. I didn't think it needed a lot. One thing that I did notice is after I was finished with the bow, you could still see where her ear had broken. So I decided I would add a little bit of Rub and Buff. I found this set of Rub and Buff on Amazon, and I will leave a link for that in the description. Anytime you buy something from Amazon by using my link to get there, they'll give me a small compensation but won't raise your price. Make sure once you get there though, you look around and make sure you're getting the very best deal. Now, when I started with the Rub and Buff, you know I can't stop because I love more. More is more, y'all. And this pup needed more because she had scratches all over herself. I just took that Rub and Buff with a little brush and added it all over those different places and in a little bit of the raised areas of her design. And then I glued her wreath on the back of her neck to make it stay. And she was just as good as new, maybe even better. Project number 3. Also in the boxes that cost $4 was this cute little baby set. Unfortunately, the bowl and the pitcher have a chip, and the pitcher has this crack going inside of it. It's just a hairline crack, so I didn't think it would bust out more. I'm cutting a piece of that hard foam. This isn't the soft floral foam, but you can get this in the floral section at most craft stores. And I'm cutting it just a little bit shorter than the height of the bowl. And I glued it in. And then I'm putting lots of hot glue on the bottom of the pitcher so that it kind of will bubble over. And I put some in the center section as well. I just don't want it to fall and chip even more, you know what I'm saying? A few videos ago, I used white roses underneath some trees, and I think there were some birds. And one of y'all mentioned it looked like fluffy snow, and now I'm in love with that idea. So I'm adding some white floral around the base of this picture. And these are just some floral that I got when Joann Fabrics went out of business and donated these boxes to my thrift store right before I walked in the door. And I got every box for $5 each. I think I bought 4 or 5 boxes. So many gorgeous florals. Lots of white. I guess it was wedding season? I don't know. Anyway, I cut out all different kinds of white florals and just put them all the way around the picture except for one little area. I had the perfect sized trees, but they weren't all the right color. So the 2 smaller ones, I just spray painted with metallic gold spray paint. They were just a little mushed, but that worked perfectly because I pushed them right up against that picture. Now you can put your trees in hot water and fluff them out, but like I said, I just didn't need to do that. These worked perfectly. I used extra pieces of the leftover hard styrofoam to put in the picture, and I did it just at a height enough where I can add another one of the roses I got from the thrift store. I took the base off of a larger gold metallic Christmas tree, and I'm putting it right down in the center of the rose petals, and I also put lots of extra glue around that so that the tree will not wobble, and I held my hand on it to make sure it stuck. I got a lot of glue on this and I was afraid of using my heat gun to crack it, so I just scraped it, and right there, that's my shirt. That's a little spit in my shirt, and it worked. Don't judge me. Someone you love has done that as well. There was a lot of white going on and I thought it needed a little bit more gold, so I used some of the greenery I bought on clearance at Ollie's last year and just added a few of the little glitter berries here and there. This is gorgeous. I mean, seriously, ain't so? Project number 4. Sometime last week, Mama brought over this red charger with some greenery and 3 candles and asked me to make an arrangement with it. Well, I had this green wreath that had mostly fall stuff in it, and some of it had fallen off. So I just picked all of that out, and then I fluffed up the wreath. Then Mama and I went to Hobby Lobby, and we found a 90% off sale going on their fall things. We got a bunch of these little coconut husk animals for 90% off. This little fox was only 75 cents, y'all. So I put the candle in the wreath and figured out how I wanted the fox to be right up next to it so he looks like he's holding the candle. And I put lots of glue on him, and then I held him down onto that wreath for at least 30 seconds until I was sure he was stuck. Then I glued the wreath right to the charger. I should have done that part first, but I just, it's like I do these things as I go. So that's my process. I did not glue the candle down because you turn it on from underneath. The picks Mama brought were very natural, like the fox, but I thought I'd see what I thought about putting some fake floral in there, and I just didn't like it at all. So that all came out, and I just started messing with the picks that Mama brought. Now, one of them had some pine cones and an old rusty jingle bell in it, and that looked really good with the natural little fox. So I worked with it and put it in so that it was kind of leaning up against the candle, and I made that the base where I started adding seed pods and pine cones I found at the dumpster at the clockmaker's auction. I figured this would be sitting on a table and you might be able to see the back of it, So I went ahead and added some different seed pods and pine cones on the back, not quite as much as the front, but enough to make it look good from all angles. I wanted to add a big bow, but it just didn't look right no matter what fabric I used. Well, one of the picks that Mama brought over was these little logs that are made out of foam that are wrapped in fabric that looks like birch bark. And attached to those was a little red and black buffalo plaid bow, and it was perfect. I didn't need any more. I did change out the candle, and I put a cream colored candle in this glass jar thing my mom found at Dollar Tree. She put IOD on it. Y'all, she's a pro. She can put IOD on anything now. And when I sent her a picture, she said, well, that's not what I wanted you to do with all of that. But I like it. So I hope in person she likes it even more. What do you all think? Did y'all have a favorite? I love how this little vignette turned out with the fox and the candle, and I'm so glad I didn't throw that wreath away. I think Mama is going to be pleased too when she sees it in person, even though it's not what she intended. I was disappointed when I pulled stuff out of the boxes I paid for and stuff was chipped, but I think I like them better than if they had been in perfect condition. I never would have thought of doing something like this if they were perfect. And the boot, even though I couldn't find its mate, it's perfect the way I did it. I hope this video inspires you to take a second look at things that you might throw away or you can't find the mate to. My friend Kelly at the shop threw away these little cherubs and one of their faces had fallen off. Well, I'm going to glue that baby right back on. I mean, I hope it doesn't look like Jason Voorhees or Michael Myers, but I'm going to do my darndest to make it look cute. Until you see me again next time, I hope you have a wonderful week. And as always, I hope you are blessed. Bye.